Hey, beautiful faces, welcome back. Okay, rather not welcome back. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I haven't been here for the past 2 years, so I didn't have the rights to say welcome back. My name is Jenna, the face behind So as a makeup artist. As you guys can see, I'm wearing my Makoti attire. I got recently married to my best friend, and today I'm here, guys, to share a beginner-friendly soft glam makeup tutorial for new Makotis like myself and working women who want to venture into makeup in the year 2026. This video is for you, and I hope you will enjoy it. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's get straight into it. Okay, we're going to start with the first step, right? Which is trying to create a flawless base. So I already have applied my moisturizer, the sunscreen. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply my primer just to close down any visible pores, which most of the time they occur around my T-zone area, which is here, by my nose, under my eye, my chin, and around my T. What's it called again? Something bro. I forgot what it's called. So I'm currently using my MAC mattifying primer. Hope you guys can see it. Let's go. MAC mattifying primer. And I'm going to use my fingers to sort of like diffuse it on my skin. It goes sort of like pressing it in on my skin. Pressing in, rubbing it in is not even a problem. If you want to use any technique, it's fine. As long as you apply it to the right place. That's more important. And after applying primer, I'm just going to wait for a few seconds while I prep my foundation. And yeah, and start on with my foundation. I do have like visible dark spots on my forehead. This is because whenever I'm going through my cycle, I do get my pimples around that area. Okay. Apologies for my voice. I don't know if I'm healing from it or I'm just in it. I have fevers and my flu is still very much fresh. But I said, you know what? I really told myself that I'm going to do a video today. So next up, I'm using my foundation. My foundation choice of the day is the Lancome foundation. I love the finishing of this foundation. It gives me a very skin-like finish. It is sort of like a tint, but it is a tint that has more or less a full coverage on it. So I love the fact that when I'm wearing this foundation, I forget that I have makeup on. And for me, when it comes to base, I'm really very much cautious about how my base looks like, that's why we start at the base, or rather these steps, they rather start with the base. Okay, I like using two brushes for my base. One, an applying brush, placement brush. I call it the placement brush. And these are the placement brushes that I use to apply my foundation. This is just to order the foundation where I want it to sort of be visible more. And then this kind of brush is a flat, round brush. This is just to make sure that my foundation is blended evenly, and yeah, it's just giving a very flawless feel. And yeah, I just apply, let's say about 2 pumps. But before that, let me show you my shade. The shade I'm using is 450W. It's currently my go-to shade. Yeah, I've been liking it lately. Yeah, I feel like they do have good shades for women of color. I'm going to use this actually, a palette for my products. Just not so that I don't sort of make my hands dirty. Okay, I'm going to use one of the brushes, which is the placement brush, and apply my foundation where I want it to occur more. And this technique, which I'm using now, I want you guys to just place the foundation. Don't try to blend it, just place it. And then the second brush will sort of blend everything all together. And it's nice to start from the inner area of your face and then blend your foundation to the outer part of your face. This is just to make sure that the foundation is not too much or too visible around the side of your face. Yeah, but if you have, let's say, spots around your jawline, around your jaw side or the side of your face, you can just reapply the foundation until you feel like it's fully covered, like exactly what I'm trying to do now. Then immediately after, You use your blending brush and press in the foundation with a circular motion, sort of like blending it around evenly on your skin. One thing about this foundation that I like is that it's so easy to blend. Some foundations, the minute you place it, it's very hard to move it around your skin. So for me, this is a 10 out of 10. Like a maybe out of 10. Because I'm not too sure if they have all the shades for darker skinned tone ladies. I'm not too sure. So, and the only way to find out is from the store. But for now, I can say it's a 9 out of 10 because the foundation, it does say it's a mattifying type, and I feel like it does not change the formulation or change or oxidize or become something else during the course of the day. It just keeps as it is. I'm applying more on my forehead. So let me not release my duke. There we go. I think today, because I'm sick, my eye areas are quite dark. I don't know if it does show on the screen, but they're quite dark. So it means I need to, find the foundation. Just a little. Okay, maybe I should have not applied a lot or already applied, because I'm thinking I could just apply concealer. Yeah. Anyways, if you blend well, it should look solid. Because I don't want you to apply a lot of foundation and then you apply concealer. It allows, now it will give a concealer a element for it to crease a lot, especially if you're not, quite flexible or good with blending as yet. Then taking the leftovers of the foundation and press it in around my face, just to make sure it's well blended. Also, what I like about this foundation is actually my skin tone. Like, it's perfect match for my skin tone, and I like that it gives me a light element, a light finish on my skin in terms of the color, not even about the weight, but also it does feel very light on my skin. Okay, next we are going to go with the concealer. And the concealer of the day, I love this concealer brand. These two is Avor concealer. I really bought it from my Joburg supplier who supplies Nigerian products. So yeah, I really love these two. The shades are A05 and A40. One is quite very light, one is, I would say, decent light. So when you apply concealer on your face, you have to go for one tone that is light or two tones, but not a too light concealer, because it's going to look very weird, especially on pictures, and you'll see while you apply that it's not a good match. Remember, the reason why we apply concealer, especially under the eyes, is just to make our eyes more fresh, giving our eyes a fresh look, and also flattening the under eye. So sometimes using just one shade should be fine, but if you want, it's only a choice. If you want a bit lighter under eye, you can go on with the 2 to 3 shades lighter for your under eye, but you must make sure that you blend it very well. So I like using two shades because I like using one that is lighter on the inner corner of my under eye. I like using the one that is decent light across my under eye and slightly, on the side of my eye. I'll show you as I'm applying it. What do I mean? Let's start with the lighter one. Okay, I think you pay me the banging because I, for one, love this brand. Like I said, I apply under the eye first, and slightly on the side of my nose bridge, because you guys will see what I mean. Like, make it make sense. Like, why? Then I'm going to apply the one I told you guys, the medium one. How would I say medium? The decent shade of the concealer. It's not too light. It's just a good shade for my under eye. You don't like it? I'm just going to apply it under the eye. I also like applying it, dragging it up on the side of my face, right? Like that. You know why? Because I feel like it gives my face a nice lift, to be honest. But again, the only way for you to know is to find out is to see how I do it. And then I like using this. Well, I think I've had this brush now for as long as I've been a makeup artist. I've used this brush for so long. This is the Real Technique concealer brush. I love using this concealer brush to blend my under eye. But before you blend, make sure you do this, just so you give yourself so much space and you sort of make sure that your concealer is blended well and you don't want to see lines or creasing when you apply concealer. So I can't talk. I'm concentrated. Oh, another thing that's important that you need to know is that when you blend a concealer, you don't sway the concealer or move it around. You literally just blend it by pressing it in where it occurs. Ne? So this is the technique. You won't go wrong with this technique. And you're probably asking yourself that should I blend the concealer immediately after applying it, or should I wait, for some time for it to settle? My answer to that is that you have to blend it first before waiting, because when it starts drying up around the under eye area, it should dry after the placement is done correctly. I don't know if that makes sense, but I know before we used to just apply concealer and wait for it to dry and then stop moving it. But from that, my experience is that when I do that, I usually struggle with moving the concealer where I want it to occur. And like from that experience also, when I move the concealer, it starts giving those dark black patches, and yeah, it would just give my under eye such a horrible finish. So if you want a very clean under eye, blend it immediately after applying the concealer and then wait when you're done. Remember, press in the concealer, don't move it a lot. And make sure you apply it everywhere under the eye. Don't leave a section. So it's important to do this to reach the, those little points around the under eye. Then, there you go. I shouldn't have to stay that long. There you go. And then next, we're going to contour our nose. Not contour, but like apply concealer. And I like using, okay, let me go with the medium shade, not the lighter one. And then I'm going to apply this around my nose bridge and my forehead. But I like starting on my forehead just to give me a nice start. So I apply it in between my eyebrows. Okay? In between my eyebrows. And then I make sure that, okay, fine, it's, sufficient enough for me to drag it down. Okay? I like dragging it down like this instead of this, because sometimes I may not give that precise line. So when I do this, at least I have a bit more control with my hand. There you go, right? It's straight enough. And just drag it up a bit more. Not a lot, but just a little. So that when I blend, it does sort of like give a nice blend around my forehead. I use the same concealer brush and I blend immediately, especially around this area, because once it's dry, it will be very hard to remove it or just to fix it. There you go. And then you just literally do this. You don't hold it very tight. You don't hold your brush quite tight. You just sort of like do this, so that when you hold your brush tight or just press tightly on your nose, it'll start spreading the concealer across your nose area. And what we're trying to achieve here is to try to recreate our nose to look a bit more sleek. So you're just going to do it very softly. This is just to pick up a bit more concealer, so that by the time you start blending, you'll have to blend a lot of product around that area. There you go. I'm literally not touching my skin. I'm just doing this because and then it starts spreading the concealer where I don't want it to go, and I'm leaving this space to contour my nose. I hope it shows on the camera. Okay, then next up, I'm going to apply the concealer around my chin. But this, you can do it or you cannot. Like, it's really all up to you. But it just gives a nice, sculptured face or nice finish when you're done with the entire makeup look. I don't always do it actually. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends. I hope it shows. But yeah. Okay, I think I want a bit more concealer under my eye. I really want a defined under eye. Not much, just a little. I feel like the blending are cool. Maybe I'm just overthinking, I don't know. Like I said, the concealer is all about how you want it to look like. Do you want a flatter under eye, or you just want, you know, a lighter element under your eye area just to look a bit more enhanced? Nothing much. I always say makeup, you just have to do what feels good on that day. Into A1 or you don't have to. You can do a natural element, you can do a fuller glam using the same technique. But of course, I think when you practice quite more, you'll be able to understand what you should do and what you should not do. One thing about makeup is really a skill that requires one to practice it quite a lot. Then I'm done with concealing. I'm done with highlighting my under eye, my nose, and my chin and my forehead. Now we're going to go on and apply contour, right? So I like using powder instead of cream contouring my nose. I like using this powder palette, pressed powder palette. It's a V-Beauty powder palette. As you guys can see, because they abuse her. And then I like using a flat, not necessarily a flat brush, but like an angled flat element brush. This is more like a eyeshadow brush, but it's just, you know, flat on the side. So I like using it especially for my nose. Well, I use it for my nose because I feel like it hugs the side of my nose bridge very well. You guys can see it. Yeah. Then I like using a brown shade. I'm using the maroon. Yeah, it's called maroon shade. It's the one in between these, so it's this one in the middle. Sometimes I mix it with the lighter shade because I don't want my nose to look too defined. And then I start on the top area. I bring it down. So I start by making sure I hold that V shape on my nose. Yeah? On the starting point of my nose, I bring it down and I sort of like close it down, you know, while it hugs my nose bridge. So this bone literally next to you, like by your nose area. So if you just allow that bone to guide you as to how you should create your nose contour, it might really help. But we all have different features, different face shapes, so it's important to understand your features first before replicating what I am currently doing, because it might not work for your future. So it's very, very important to understand your features. And on our one-on-one classes, we just make sure that whoever attends the class, they understand their features better, and we guide using their features as the guide as to how they can sort of like, you know, do makeup on themselves. Then apply more, bring it down, make sure it gives a nice element in between the darker shades that we're applying. It does not close the one like the nose that we're trying, the sleek nose that we're trying to recreate, a closed down element. You just don't want to see your nose, you know, this sleek and contoured. So you just have to be quite cautious with that. There we go. And when they get it in between, you can still see the concealer, the lighter shade concealer. But again, I don't like it when people leave it like this. Like, don't leave your nose looking like that. You still have to go on and blend. You still have to make sure that everything looks seamless. Yeah. So after applying the brown, I'm gonna go on and blend under the eye, sort of like covering that brown shade as well. Going back using this brush, the concealer brush, and then blend it under the eye. Ne? And as you can see, it's starting to shade out. So the reason I like using a powder instead of a concealer dark shade or a bronzer to contour my nose is because it's so easy to blend a powder, like so easy to blend a pressed powder. So I always say, please use a pressed powder, especially if you're a beginner. Use a pressed powder to contour your nose and contouring your cheeks or bronzering your cheeks. Now it's a bit more seamless. The only thing we have to blend now is literally the inner point of the nose, which is this one. So in the corner, you just literally press it in because you don't want that concealer to bleed around that contour you've created. So again, you don't press it too hard because then you're going for it to settle really well. Here we go. So now the only thing is left to do is to, we're still in step one, crazy. The only thing is left for us to do now is to apply, the under eye, to set the under eye and the rest of the face. Yeah? So we're going to start. I'll be using this. Is it one step? What is it again? Okay, one size. So one step, one size setting powder or translucent powder. I'm currently falling in love with this brand and powder choice, but I also love using Laura Mercier. You can just really choose between the two, but this one does give a very mattifying element on the finishing quite well. But if you want that likes a very silky finish and that is not too matte, then I think I would still recommend for you to use Laura Mercier powder, translucent powder. Then I'm going to use the same brush, but I'm trying to clean it a bit using a cotton pad. I'm cleaning the excess, excess product, which is the concealer. Okay, and this is just in case if you want that, like using a lot of product on your brush. It's so important to clean it before using a different product, so that you don't have to struggle with blending. Okay, so now I'm going to focus the pressed powder, the translucent powder under my eye. Okay, I'm going to focus it exactly where I applied the concealers. And you guys already know where is that. I'm going to do this to make sure you can focus it well under that area. Do I need to blend again? Might need to. Well, just press the under eye again, just to remove those fine lines. Immediately after apply the powder. I don't like letting the powder sit like applying it. I like just fluffing it out for now, especially if I'm not trying to bake my under eye. Why am I teary? Yo, I think because of this light is literally focused on my face. Yo. Okay, let me ignore it. I think because I'm sick, so my face is reacting. Okay, next we're going to use the same powder around the forehead. Why am I facing that side? Around the forehead, sort of like on my brows as well. I like doing this because it sort of like sets the foundation that I applied on my brow area to give a matte element. And then another area that I need to blend is the nose, my nose. Not a lot. Fluff it out. Again, with a translucent powder, you just set whatever liquid product that you applied to be more solid and stable when you applied it. There you go. Okay, so now the next I'm going to use is my MAC pressed powder. The shade is NC55. I'm just going to apply this powder across my face where I did not apply the translucent powder, just to make my face a bit warmer and more matte, to complement the translucent powder that I applied. There you go, here as well. And then I like using a small eyeshadow brush to focus my pressed powder where I applied the darkest shade, just to dilute it a bit and bring it more to my skin tone. One thing we don't want is we don't want flashbacks. when you take pictures. The goal here is to create like an harmony and a very flawless, well-blended color makeup. Nothing that is too out there, nothing that is too, too defined. You don't want that. There you go. So now just to contour my face, which is the side of my face, I'll be using the same palette. And I'll be mixing two shades, ebony and maroon, these two shades. This one I could be using a deodorant, but it's quite dark, so I don't like the side of my face to be too dark. I don't know if but yeah, I'll be using these two shades to contour my face. Yeah, you will see that I'm contouring one side, which is this one. And when you contour your face, try to do this so that you focus the product above your ear. You might not see my ear right now, but use your ear, the top of the ear, to measure where you start with the product, and then you bring it down, and then maybe you just stop where your cheekbone occurs, because you don't want your powder, because it's quite dark, so you don't want your powder to be too visible, especially if you're facing like this, but you want it to be visible when you're facing like that. Yeah? And then one thing about bronzering or contouring the face, it does pick your face up, hey? It gives a nice lift. Start from the top area of your ear, and then you stop there by your bone cheek or cheekbone. That's like, okay, I usually don't apply contour on my forehead, but for the sake of people who might really like that idea, same shades that I've used for my face and my forehead. This just really helps with, enhancing the inner part of your forehead, if you're a fan of closing down your forehead a bit more. But to be honest, you really have to do this if you really need to. There we go. Then we're done with the step, which is the base. As you guys can see, that the base is solid, it's neat, it's flawless, it's great to build on top of it. It's not too loud, but also it's not too quiet. It's just giving a nice sculptured base. Voila. Next, we are going to be doing step 2. Step 2 is just the blush. So today, the choice of my blush is this Dior blush. The shade is Dior Backstage Rosy Glow. Rosy Glow, yeah, Rosy Glow. Then I like using I like using a fluffy, clean brush, and then I like focusing my blush here by the apple of my cheeks, bringing it up towards, let's say, the hairline. Yeah. And I like this shade because it's in between pink and red. Then blend it up to your hairline, I would say. And this blush is quite, I love the pigment, but I go too loud, it's buildable. Sometimes it's a blush, so you need to control it after applying it. But when it comes to blush, okay, you can really choose the one that speaks to you. Like I said, it's so nice and buildable. So if I go to your own personal limits, I think I am in love with blush lately. I like to look blushed up. One thing about the blush, it picks up the makeup. If you feel like after applying a base is quite flat, then the blush, it does pick up everything. And yeah, it gives you a nice base overall. So I just need to use a wipe to wipe my hands. So now we're done with the blush step. I might throw in a bit of blush there by the last step. It's all about how you like your blush to be defined or to be out there. But you still can have it quiet. You still can use a shade that speaks to you. There are quite a number of shades that really, looks good on someone with my skin tone, or anyone lighter or anyone darker. So like I said, when it comes to blush, you just have to go with your choice. Next up, we are going to the next step, which is we're doing our go to soft glam smoky brownish, goldish eye. This one eye look is my go-to eye look, especially if I don't have the luxury of time. I just want to do makeup and I just want to go. I literally have about 35 minutes. This is my literally go-to makeup look. First things first, again, I'll be using this palette, like at the same shade, the maroon, to firstly contour my eyelids. Yeah? And I'll be using this brush. I used it before. I'm not too sure what was I using it for. But because I'll be using a brown shade, now you can't think I was using a brown. I can't remember what was I using this for. But I'll think about it. Oh, I was using it to apply face powder around my nose bridge. So I'll be using it again to apply it on my eyelid, to contour my eyelid. When I say contouring my eyelid, what I really mean is, this is the eyelid, right? Contouring the eyelid is to apply a shade that is quite, slightly dark, to make this eyelid to pop a bit more. Reason why is because I'm going to apply a gold shimmer here, and I want it to be contoured that when the shimmer is applied, it's still visible compared to just having a blend eyelid. But you guys will see as I do it. First things first, I sort of like close my eye because I really want to reach that part of my eye. Yeah. I hope you guys can see. So I'm going to use another shade, a lighter brown, to diffuse that color, to create a nice harmony around the eyelid. So that the colors going to be cool, so they don't feel standalone, they look well blended instead. And yeah, you used to call that color a transitioning color actually. Yeah, it gives a different shade in between the color that I'll apply and this brown and what's in between it. Yeah, and then I'm going to dust my brush off, and you guys can see that my eye is starting to give that dark element. Then I'm going to use a lighter brown to diffuse it on that darker one, so that it does not also show any fine lines. Not fine lines, actually harsh lines. So now we're just removing those harsh lines on the brown shade. Apply it again. I like using this pressed powder actually because I can control the shade. I can control the colors instead of using the rich colors. Yeah, but because blending those can be an extreme sport. But if you know how to blend eyeshadow really well, then of course go for it and apply a brown eyeshadow. Again, the one that contours the eyelid, slightly on top of the eyelid. Another way of knowing how to apply this is to measure. So we all have the brow bone, right? Just make sure that the shade, the darker shade, does not go above the brow bone. The brow bone. The brown bone. So you sort of like pack in the darker shade underneath that brown bone, but also making sure that you don't touch the eyelid. And that way, you will know how to position the darker shade, which is contouring your eye. And then now, we sort of like use the lighter shade of brown and diffused on the darker one to give the transitioning element and removing harsh lines at the same time. There you go. So it's important that when you apply eyeshadow, it's important to know how to remove harsh lines and to know how to combine colors to diffuse them together to bring, a nice soft dimension of the color. And then next up, I like using this palette. There's this one amazing brown that I like here. It's ebony as well. Tenders for 9 shades. Okay, but anyways, now ebony. This is the shade that I like using. Oh, firstly, the palette is Annie Beauty Browns Meet the, okay, maybe I'm not getting it. Meet the Browns, I think. Meet the Browns. Meet the Browns. So the shade is ebony, and this is the shade. Come on, there's one of us, Kaylee. If only needs one thing, it means that there's tanda. I'm going to use a smaller eyeshadow brush because I want to focus that brown. It's quite darker than the one that I was using to conceal to contour my eyelids. So I want to focus a little bit of shade just to give a nice smoky element in my eyes. So if I were to use a bigger brush now, it was going to sort of like spread the brown and take away from what I've already created. So also being brush cautious is important, because when you apply certain colors, the brushes kind of like assist you to apply them correctly. It can also work against you if you use incorrect brushes in an incorrect area on your face. I need to blow my nose because what the hell? Yeah, as I was saying, small brush, darker shade. I like how to focus on this color on the outer corner of my eye, to give that smoky element. You don't have to do this one. It's really just a choice thing. And sort of like focus it on my outer eye, but drawing it slightly out, with an excess powder on the brush. First place the product with the excess powder, you just sort of like bring it out, like that. We do the same thing on the eye, and the rest of my other eye. Apply, place the product, and if I can't, so I'm just going to go back. And then take the excess one, bring it out. Should you then make a mistake and bring it out a lot of product, you just can take a cleaner brush and blend it again to make sure that it does not restructure the structure that you're trying to do. There you go. I'm literally in between having a lighter, so I'm just diffusing the brown again. I'm still in between whether I should make my shimmer lighter or just, slightly, medium light. I don't know if that makes sense. Because again, I'm not trying to do a full glam eye look. I want it to be soft, alright? Yeah. So, yeah, I think I've made up my mind. I'm just going to apply shimmer and not apply, like a, eyeshadow base, because I don't want my shimmer to be too pigmented. But not there at the same time. So the shimmer of my choice is this palette. I love this Essence palette. Okay. It's Essence, the Nude Edition eyeshadow palette. And then they don't have numbers on the shades, but I like using this gold next to the pink. I love using this gold next to the pink. Sometimes I like mixing them both, depending on the mood. So I'm just going to take a flat brush and pack in the shimmer on the inner, starting point is the inner corner of my eyes, bring it slightly on my eyelids. Yeah? I might not be able to talk when I'm doing this because I really just need to focus. Essence did a thing with this eyeshadow palette. I won't lie, and I think it's quite affordable. If I did talk, it's not more than 200 rand or more than 150 actually. I'm not too sure, but please check it out. It's a really, really good palette to have. Just one coat. It looks really good. It looks really, really good. Did I say coat? I meant coat. It's important to pack it on the inner corner of your eye so that it does not leave those funny gaps in between. And because we're ending with the eyes, it's so important that when you pick up product, you first dust out the excess product on the brush and then you apply so that it does not, spread across your under eye area. Okay, Also, eyeshadow, the shimmer eyeshadow does leave those harsh lines. So important to take another brush, a different brush this time around, a cleaner brush to be exact, yeah, and take, let's say, a lighter brown and blend those harsh lines until we don't see them. There we go. Another side. Also, it's so soft now when you pick up product here. No matter the product it needs, and then now it starts, applying something else. We are just diffusing that harsh line that is brought up by the shimmer. There you go. Nice and easy. With practice, yes, with practice. I just want to focus a bit more. Shimmer again. Another thing you can do from the same palette, they have this white eyeshadow. Yeah? You can just, if you feel like your shimmer is not too out, you can use that white shimmer to bring out that gold. Exactly what I'm doing right now. Let me show you which one am I talking about. Not saying Nina, but yeah, now I'm like, it's this one. It's next to a white eyeshadow, but it's a white shimmer. It's just right here. Get this palette immediately with immediate effect. Next up, we're on step, just to be sure before we move on to the next step, just remove any excess powder, any fallouts, yeah, before we move on to the next step. Okay. Oh, we're still on eyes actually. I noted down my steps. Okay, I'm a serious girl here. I noted down my steps. Hi, Bo. What's my... Okay, our next step. Oh, still step 3 actually, because we're doing the entire eye design and the lashes. Why am I forgetting the most important thing ever? Okay, so before we do the eye, because I like doing like an eyeshadow, firstly eyeliner, then eyeshadow on my lower eye area, and then apply lashes. So first things first, we're going to start with, I don't know if I shouldn't do like an black eyeshadow or should I do a brown eyeshadow? I don't know, not eyeshadow, eyeliner. I think I'm going to go with the brown eyeliner for my under eye. I don't feel like a dark under eye. So I'm using Glam blend. Let me see. Oh, it's Rimmel. Okay, it's Rimmel. I think it's a brow pencil, to be honest, but I'm using it for my under eye. So I'm going to pack in that Rimmel. I'm going to do my eyeliner. Let me place this mirror here because, and this will serve up, but doing my eyeliner and also holding my, what's this? My mirror. Yeah. Okay, the choice of my eyeliner, you say brown. Yeah, so like, we focus the brown on the waterline. Same thing on the other side. Oh, What's going on? Okay. Then we take an eyeshadow. You can use this brush actually. Then you see say one of the browns that I use on the under eye, on my eyelid. So we take two different browns, lighter browns, and just blend that eyeliner. Sana, I'm so sick. Actually, as my days as I wake up, the more I'm getting sick. There you go. So you guys can see what I'm doing. Then I'm going to take my what's this? Mascara. No? To mascara my top lashes so that they don't fold to my inner eye. It's just to really help with preparing for my lashes. There you go. Wear my bottom lashes. And you know, I guess I'm not bad. Yes, details. What I like about this L'Oreal, it's actually L'Oreal. Let me show you guys, sorry. It's a L'Oreal Telecom, no? Oh, Telescopic extra black mascara. Telescopic is an this amazing mascara is a telescopic extra black mascara. It's really just amazing. I love how it just, applies on my lashes, and I like the fact that it stays for the entire day. If uNkulunkulu sana God when pay lashes, benizayibona lithetha ngale mascara. But yeah, still you see, I can wear my own lashes, right? Okay, next up. So I'm such a fan lately of clusters, no? But for the sake of today's video, and if you're not confused, for the sake of today's video, I'll do strip lashes. So I can't do strip lashes without doing I wouldn't say wing liner, but like a liner on the top area of because a wing liner and lashes can be a bit tricky, so I'll do a separate video to explain this. So step number 4, eyebrows. So I'm going to start with this eyebrow gel. This is a NYX eyebrow gel, just to structure up my brows, and yeah, just to give a nice contour on my natural brows. I'm just literally using the excess on the container. Next up, now we're doing our eyebrows. I've applied the eyebrow gel. Yeah? So I'll be using the Benefit eyeliner. I like the fact that it's nice and thin. It's easy to apply. So what I like doing when I'm doing my eyebrows is to create light strokes, mimicking my natural hairs, into the direction of my natural hairs. So what really matters is when you apply the gel, you direct your brows into the direction of the natural shape, and yeah, and for them to stay controlled for the rest of the makeup duration. I don't want to create anything hectic. I want something light. And then I like a very natural start on my eyebrows so that they don't look too overly done. I still want them natural. I still want my hair to show. So the same thing, create strokes, mimicking my hairs, and most especially where there are empty spaces. And then start drawing, lift up my brows where my arch area is. And then make sure the tail is neat. Yeah, it's not enough to use a thin brow liner because you just literally keep the brow pencil where you want it. It does not do the bulking drawing. It draws really precisely the way you want it to. Because you can see they might not look the same, but that's what a highlight does, which is the concealer. So they look, yeah, the shape is good. The shape is the same. It's just how they look. This one is not as neat as the other one. And then use a spoolie brush. One thing I like about this Benefit liner, it comes with a spoolie, which is convenient. And then now we are blending together eyebrow liner and the hairs of my eyebrows. Alright, next up we're using an angled brush. This is my go-to angled brush. You guys can see it. Some of my flu is just getting worse because I'm progressing with my makeup. It's just like could be the powders or something. Okay, I'm going to use one of the mascaras, one of the lighter one actually. I'm going to use actually both of them. I'm going to use the lighter one and the medium one, the concealers. I'm going to use the lighter one right by my arch area while I use the medium one everywhere on my eye, to highlight my eyes. And then with the updated way of doing brows, what's nice with doing them last is because that you get to do them in a very light and neat element, right? Because you get to do them in a very light, flawless way if you want that really likes brows that look like this. So instead of putting a lot, we just literally just keep a precise line that makes your brow neat. Just keep the line. It's almost like I'm not applying a lot, hey? Then I take the lighter one and then apply it more here. And then I finish off the brow. And then this one technique helps if you really, really, really practice it. It helps with having to, I think it's a better way to learn how to do your brows as a beginner, to be honest, because you don't have to start with them. You just do them by the end where your face is already structured and you have to put minimal product, so you don't have to do a lot of blending, a lot of structuring actually. You just follow the shape of your natural brows and apply a little concealer, blend it in on your skin, and voila, you're done. And then on the top area of your eyebrows, you just use a pinch of your foundation. That's if you need to and you want to, but to be honest, you really don't have to. And that's it. You have your brow nice and lifted and nice and easy, very nice and easy. And then I'm going to do the other side. I'm gonna follow the shape of my natural brows, apply a little concealer, following the shape. As I get to the arch area, I then invite the lighter concealer to finish off the rest of the brow. This is to just give a nice lift and a nice finish, to be honest. You can still use one concealer, it's okay. Guys, I'll probably now sound so weird. In fact, I'll come back again. The right. Yes? I'm coming back. I'm coming back. You go. Guys, this technique is everything. If you still struggle with brows in 2026, please try this technique of doing your makeup first and then finish up with the eyebrows. It does a huge difference as to how your makeup, looks at the end. And then when you're done, take a very light, a shade of pressed powder that complements the concealer, and just press it in on top of that concealer to set the concealer for it not to move. This is mostly on the outer corner, by the arch, I would say, and then by the inner corner of your eyebrow, to be exact, you use a lighter brown, just to continue with making your inner corner soft and flawless and more natural, I'd say. Right? More natural, I'd say. Guys, I think we used to take so much time, eyebrows. Nowadays, you just have to learn how to be precise with your hand and then create the straight line. Other than that, you don't have to do a lot. The job is made to be done very easy. Oh, why am I using concealer? Oh my god. Okay, I was supposed to use foundation. It's fine, it's just that I can blend, but to be safe for your practice, guys, just use a concealer to make the top area of your brow solid and neat. But again, you don't have to, most especially if you know how to draw neatly. For instance, this one looks neater compared to this one. So obviously this one I need to be sure about what I'm doing. Yeah, so there's a fun. It's like but one thing you will know actually, if you haven't done your face that much, is that your eyebrows they change. It's almost like they go with the mood. But the more you do it, the better it becomes. So you'll be frustrated if your brows are fun. It's pretty much normal. Okay, cool stuff. Then we're done with the eyebrows. Finish it off with the spoolie brush just to connect everything once more. Just to make sure everything's nice and neat. You can still go on with your gel again if you feel like your hairs are still not done right, or they still go up a bit. But to be honest, it has to feel like it right. Sometimes you feel like you've brushed out a lot on the inner corner of your eye. You can still go back with your brow liner and just, create those little strokes again to make your inner corner neat. The last step, now we're doing our lip. Before the lip, actually, I like using the brown eyeshadow for the last time. Just go on and blend the eye again, just in case if your concealer took over around your eye design. Just to make sure that your eye is still neat and nice, just go on with the brown, the lighter brown, not the dark brown. Next, we're going on our lip. I'm going to start with moisturizing my lip with this ointment. It's not an ointment, it's a lip balm actually. What's this brand? Americoda. Okay, any lip gloss, guys, to be honest. Any lip gloss, lip balm, your go-to lip gloss. I'm just hydrating my lip first before completing my look. Then I'm going to start with a brown. I'm supposed to be using lip liner, but I love this brown lipstick as a lip liner. I apply it on a lip line, natural lip line. There you go. Now I'm going to enhance my lip. Well, I do have dark lips actually, so I'm going to enhance it with this Fenty matte lipstick. The shade is Unbuttoned. No, Stunner Lip Paint number 2. Uzoyikhangela ufumane. Because I have a glass, so it might not dry up as quick. Might not dry up immediately. What was this? I don't think I should have applied it now. I really like a softer finish. Let me go on with the brown again, because it kind of like went on the brown. Honestly, my lip, they're fine, yeah, but I do want to throw in some gloss on top. Let me dry it a bit. Which gloss are we going for? Do I even have it here? Gloss and makeup up. Okay, let me just do my under eye. So I'm going to use this pressed powder. But before I use the pressed powder, I'm going to go on my blush again, but a lighter pink shade of blush. This brand is Any Beauty. So I'm going to use this pink shade. And slightly bring my blush in my under eye. So you can move. Okay. I'm going to use this puff for, oh, hectic, for this powder. No? So it's missing powder, no, pressed powder for my under eye to be more nice and solid. I'm using my V Beauty palette. There's a lot of white there, so I just want to see if we can bring some lightness under my, actually this. I left my, can't find the powder that I'm supposed to use. I feel like this is doing the job as well. Yeah, I'm bonusing just because I'm not sure if it's a good vibe or not. It's not bad. Okay, let's take a brush again. Blend it around. Okay, one last thing now. There's a gloss, most definitely, but this shimmer, not shimmer, highlighting my face. I like using this brush. It's quite a small, fluffy brush. It helps to concentrate the shimmer where I want it to be. Smile slightly. I don't want a lot. Just come on. This is nice and minimal. It's not a lot. I think that's how I like it. I think it screams when you kind of smile. And yeah, I like the fact that it's too toned down. It's not screaming a lot. I caught two there, right? But I don't like using it for my nose. I like using this palette. There's a nice color in this palette. This is a Nubian by Juvia palette, and I like using this. I'm just going to use this brush. I like using. It's actually finished, guys. It's a shade. It's a lighter shimmer shade. I was actually contemplating with doing my nose because this girl's not feeling well. Looks cute. But we need a glass, don't we? I'll get a glass. I'll get it now. Just now. I actually got my gloss and I applied it. So yeah, I applied the gloss on top, and this is my gloss. My Pelino. Sorry. I applied the Essence gloss on top. Then we're going to finish off this look with a setting spray. And the setting spray of the day is this one by MAC. I like the fact that the setting spray is alcohol free, so it does not have that smell. Sorry, need the spray. We're going to set with the mist. The most amazing mist by L'Oreal. Just wait until the setting spray is set. Little spot here. Just waiting for the setting spray to settle in, and then apply a mist, and then voila. Perfect, isn't it? Next, sorry, just putting this. Here we go, Takoti, here we go. Oh, I love this makeup look. Don't you guys like it? Anytime, Dina. Wow, I'm done. I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video. There you guys have it. We are done with our tutorial, and if you got to this part of this video, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're one that never really tried makeup or tried to attempt, I hope this video inspired you enough to just give it a try. And if you're like myself, you're a new Makoti, you want to show up in real life, I hope this video is going to be that inspiration for you to just, start getting that mirror, getting that makeup, and yeah, getting into learning how to do and master your own makeup. And yeah, just leave on the comment section and let me know if you would like maybe on the next video to focus on an everyday 15 minutes makeup look, or if you're a new bride or you're just a bride for 2026. Let me know if you want to get more inspiration when it comes to bridal looks, soft makeup looks. Or you just want to know how to do makeup for events, church events, or family events. Let me know in the comment section. Just let me know what you'd like to see on the next episode. And yes, guys, just like that, we are back, officially back. And this is just only the beginning. Thank you once more. Bye.